What to do when you're on a weight loss medication and not losing the weight that you think you should be using. That's one of the topics we're going to talk about today. The other is some unexpected benefits of weight loss that you would never have guessed. And I had a woman experience this the other day, and I want to break it down because this girl was so excited with this side effect of it. But I'm going to tell you exactly what it is and why it happened for her. But the first thing I want to touch on is the medications. And, I don't prescribe medications in my practice. I also don't hate on or judge anybody if that's what they choose to do. But I'm always talking about, knowing that these medications are not something that you can stay on for a lifetime. At some point, you're going to max out on the dose. At some point, you're going to need a maintenance dose. At some point, you're going to need to come off and cannot take this medication anymore for whatever reason. So there needs to be a lot of emphasis placed on maintenance and thinking about maintenance, like right from the get-go. Just like when people get admitted from the hospital, we talk about discharge planning starts on admission, right? Same thing for you. Your maintenance plan should start from the day you start your program with whatever it might be. If you're doing a metabolic makeover with me, or if you're doing some other type of program with somebody else, or you're taking a medication, you need to realize, or you need to think about, what is your maintenance plan going to be, and know that you absolutely need to have a maintenance plan. I think a lot of emphasis is placed now on fast, quick, easy right now, and losing as much as possible, as fast as possible, but not enough focus is put on maintenance. What happens when you reach that goal, right? Because that's the name of the game. That's the whole goal, to get to a certain number. And I'm not even going to go into all of that in today's episode. I'm not going to get into all of that. But when you get to your goal, or however you're feeling the best, or your numbers are the best with whatever you might be working on, your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, you reach that size that you want to get to, whatever it is for you, whenever you get there, what are you going to do after? Like, what's your maintenance plan like? And so much more focus needs to be put on that maintenance plan and what that looks like for yourself. But going back to what my original thing was, if you're on these medications and you're not losing as much weight as you think you should be losing, what could possibly be going on, and what can you do about it? So I had some woman come in, and I was just doing a consultation on her. Again, I don't prescribe medication, so I was just talking to her about her current plan that she's on, because again, I get a lot of women who are on weight loss medications already from a different provider, and they're not getting the results that they think they should be getting. Oh, my phone is going off. They're not getting the results that they think they should be getting, but whoever they're working with usually doesn't have time to explain all of this to them, and they or they're just never told about it, and they're just kind of left in the dark about it. So I'm going to break it down for you today. So the first thing I asked her was, has she had an appetite, right? Because these medications make you not hungry. They slow your digestive system, stay fuller longer, you're not really eating as much. So no appetite, it's really been suppressing her appetite. Okay. I said, well, what have you been eating? And she goes, for the most part, I really was watching what I was eating. I was eating really clean. She goes, but, the past 2 weeks, I went out and had some pizza. I had some tacos the other day. And she was like, but I could only really eat like one slice of pizza. She goes, because that's all I could really, eat. And I wasn't hungry. She goes, and it was just like one taco and all of this. And I'm like, okay. I said, you have to think about this medication and what it's doing. This medication is making you not hungry. So when you go sit down to eat, you're going to get full very quickly. So whatever you decide to eat needs to be like the most nutritious, most nutritionally dense thing that you can possibly eat, because you can't eat a bunch of other things. Whatever this one thing that you're going to eat has to be really good for you. I said, so I want you to think about this. And when I was talking to her, the image that came to my mind was a Twinkie for some reason. I don't know why, but a Twinkie was coming up for me. And I said, just imagine that in this hand, I have a Twinkie. I said, it's the size of a Twinkie. I said, and just imagine that this is all that you can really eat, the size of a Twinkie of food. That's all you can really eat. I said, and then imagine in my other hand, I've got a piece of chicken breast, and some vegetables in the same kind of size of a Twinkie. I said, now think about these two. I said, do you think the person that is eating the Twinkies is going to lose more weight than the person who eats the chicken and vegetables? I was like, if this is all that they're eating, who do you think is going to lose more weight? And it's obvious the person that's eating the chicken and the vegetable is going to lose more weight than the person who's eating the Twinkie. So it's not so much about how much you're eating, it's what you're eating. And I've made a couple of videos on this before. It absolutely is what you're eating. There's really nothing nutritionally dense or beneficial about a Twinkie. And you don't have to use a Twinkie. You can use any other kind of food that's not as nutritionally dense as protein and vegetables. So that's what you have to think about. So that's what I told her. I said, so your nutrition is even more important now that you can only eat a little bit of food. Your nutrition is more important now than ever because you can only eat such a little amount of food. I said, so you will continue to lose weight because you're eating less food, but it's not going to be as fast as you think it's going to be or want to be because you're not really eating the right foods. Does that make sense? If that makes sense to everybody watching, let me know in the comments below. But that's why. So that's what you have to think about. So if you're on any of these medications and you've got a really decreased appetite, but you're eating crap and you're eating garbage for your meals, right? It's not really food that you're eating. You're just eating a bunch of junk. You're going to lose weight, but you're not doing it in a very healthy way at all. And your weight loss is not going to be as fast as it could be if you were eating more clean foods. So paying attention to your nutrition is still super important, even if you're on some type of weight loss medication, injection, pill, whatever it might be. That's the first thing. Second thing, an unexpected benefit of weight loss that I want to tell you about. So I had a woman who I think she's lost like 20 some pounds, and she took her picture, and we were looking at her picture, and when she first started, she looked a certain type of way. And in this next picture, she just was like, I look so tall. Like she couldn't get over how tall she looked. She's like, I look so tall. She was like, did I grow? Like, did I grow or what? So I just sit here and I had to explain to her, because when I was doing her little session with her, I asked, how she's been feeling. And she said she's been able to move a lot better. She said in the past, when she tried to walk, she was kind of very hunched over. Her knees were kind of bent because they were hurting. And she kind of like wobbled back and forth. Like that's how she moved around. But now, since she's released these 20 some pounds, she stands a lot taller. She looks a lot leaner. Her legs are straight. She's no longer hunched over, wobbling around. And that's what I had to explain to her. I said, you literally are standing taller. Yes, you did lose weight as in pounds. I said, but you look so much leaner because your posture is so much better. Your knees aren't bent. You aren't hunched over. You're able to walk more straight. When you stand up and there's nothing like holding you down, because when you have that excess weight on you, especially if you've got like a bigger belly, all that stuff pulls on your muscles, pulls on your spine. It pulls you forward and it pulls you down because gravity, right, is pulling you down. It's pulling you forward. It makes you hunched over. It makes you small. And I'm not even going to go into a bunch of other stuff about how weight is, used as a protective thing to help us cover up how we're feeling and help us hide and stay small. That's a whole nother episode for another day. Okay. But in her case, that releasing that weight allowed her to stand up taller, look leaner in her face, in her body, in her posture. And honey, too, she was feeling herself. So obviously she was projecting a different type of energy now. And that all showed up in her picture. So this girl literally did look a couple inches taller in her picture. Absolutely. But again, she no longer had that weight holding her over, pulling her down. She was able to be open and straight and tall and proud and just all the things. And it showed absolutely in her photo. So I want you to be aware that that is a really great side effect of losing weight that not anybody really talks about, but that's exactly why it happens. So maybe she didn't technically get taller, like grow inches, her posture improved because she was able to release that weight, because she no longer had things pulling and crunching her forward. Her legs were straighter because they weren't bent and out and wobbling around. Everything is starting to improve with her. So she's able to be more mobile. Her quality of life is improving. She looks a lot better. Like she looked great in this photo, taller, leaner, all the things. So some really great side effects of weight loss that you're going to start to see when you do start to lose weight. So don't be surprised if you look a little bit taller once you start to lose weight. So these are just two things that I wanted to bring up today because they've been coming up in my practice and women that I've been talking to. So be on the lookout for these. Again, if you have any questions around any of this, feel free to reach out to me or send me a direct message, whatever platform you might be on. There's always a way to direct message me. So go ahead and do this because we're going to a couple different platforms right now. We're going to like YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and where else? YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I think that's it. Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted there because my dogs are moving around too. But all right, guys, that is my video for today. Again, any questions, reach out to me. I'm taking applications for my Metabolic Makeover 2024. So if you want to apply for that, reach out to me and let me know too. That way I can send you the link for the application. You can get signed up. And I think that's about it. So like I always say, for a balanced life, just add spice. I'll catch you in the next episode.